We have the bond market flying. We have yields confirming that they're going to go down lower. Something really big happened on the 10-year. Let's jump right in first with TLT. You guys have your prediction here? Looks like it played out. And then said, Gordo, you thought that was everything, and kept going higher. So your bond market very, very strong right now to the upside. That's what it looks like. And you guys can expect a pullback eventually. I'll call it out when it happens. But you will most likely want your TLT to come down and hit the giant moving average. So then we can get extra confirmation that we're going to go higher, or it could just fly through the ceiling, and we'll see if it does that too. Here's your 2-year yield. Looks like it confirmed another rejection off of the pattern. So you guys broke down, came up, rejected, and then came up again, and then rejected, and then said, okay, bye-bye. So now your TLT most likely will go lower. You guys may see a cut. If there's a cut this next month, I forget when the next Fed meeting is, but we don't worry about that. And you guys are expected to possibly go to 3.256%. That is the price target of the pattern right now. Now, the big one. This is your 10-year yield. Now, the big one. This is your 10-year, the yield, the one that gauges your mortgage interest rate, your inflation. Here, you guys broke the giant moving average I was hoping you guys didn't break. So, let me zoom out and show you how big this is. So, this is the size of the pattern that the 10-year yield just broke out of. You guys have the giant moving average moving up. We're on the weekly time frame too, so this is not the daily anymore. You can see our tiny pattern right here on the daily that we have drawn. But here on the 10-year, looks like you guys broke down below and are breaking through the giant moving average, which is even stronger on the weekly time frame. So you guys would measure back here, move it over. This is not a confirmed break yet, but it is a break. And then you guys will see a possible rate of 2.694% on the 10-year yield coming up eventually. This is a very big pattern. It can take 6 months to until next year to finish playing out. It could take a while. But that's just going to show you that the big macro of it is down. So maybe you're celebrating, maybe you're not celebrating. Either way, I'm just showing you where the charts are most likely to go. Here's your S&P 500 on the daily time frame. You guys look like you came back into the pattern and then couldn't hold your ground, and now you're retesting the trend line again. I don't know how many times you're going to retest that line, but you guys are retesting it again, and you guys may see a rejection somewhere, something. We have to wait. Maybe next week it does something cool. Hopefully. Here's your NASDAQ on the daily. You guys had this little triangle pattern thing here. Looks like it wanted to come up and retest. So far, it came back down to retest the pattern it currently break out of and found a little support possibly. Not a clear support, but looks like it might have found something there. Can just shoot up and hit the bottom of this trend line here and then possibly get rejected or breaks through. We'll find out when it happens. But most likely the target is going to be hitting this pattern still. Hasn't broken too far into the pattern it just broke out of, and it hasn't broken the support line to make me think otherwise. Now your Dow Jones Industrial Average. You guys got rejected. Amazing. Thing is, it's like a neutral candle because you guys can see it's just a super giant wick on that candle. So I'm going to assume you're going to come up and hit the moving trend line right here and possibly retest that to fill the little gap that it did next week. I'm thinking it's just going to fill it on Monday, and then we'll see Tuesday what happens. But you guys still have that price target to go fill. May fill it, may not. You guys do look like you have a head and shoulders pattern. If you go off of over here, and then you go here, here's the head, and then there's the right shoulder, and then would you look at that? It's so beautiful. And then If you break this line down here, then you guys have another price target to head to. If you measure from the head to the support line there and then move it down, looks like your Dow Jones may want to go down and retest the giant moving average after it possibly breaks down out of this head and shoulders pattern. We will see what happens. Here's your Bitcoin. You guys can draw this one a little bit differently. Came down, almost hit that price target, didn't, came back up, hit the pattern, got rejected. So you guys can now just call this like a channel or another pennant. It's up to you. But looks like you guys are still going to bounce inside of here. No more price target for now. And you guys will see where you guys break out of this and figure out where we go. Remember, this is a giant accumulation area right here, so it's going to have a really, really hard time breaking through it. So, very unlikely, but can still happen. Here's XRP. Looks like you guys have something similar to Bitcoin. You guys can draw the line like this, or you guys can go ahead and move the line down like that. And then you could just delete this line if you wanted to. Price target, not in play anymore. You guys can call this a very, very small head and shoulders pattern. It's super tiny, but can still play out, you know. So if it breaks this lower line right here, most likely you head down lower, and then you have to fight this lower trend line. Or you could just rip right through it. We'll just have to see what happens. But currently, it's looking a little bearish on XRP. Here's your gold. Looked like you guys have a crazy wick yesterday. And then today you guys popped back up. Amazing. Maybe it went for your guys' stop loss orders or something. But you guys are still going up. Price target still in play. Your gold's still expected to most likely hit 501.08. Here's your silver. Looks like it just keeps trying to chug up to the moon there. You guys have broken out of the pattern, very weak, so I'm not going to call it a confirmed breakout. You're just peeking your head over the top of a wall. And you guys could see a rejection because that candle's very, very weak. But we'll find out on Monday what happens. Now make sure to like, subscribe, maybe share the video. Comment something down below, like some stock you want me to stare at and analyze for you. But overall, your stock market is looking like it's topping out. You guys keep hitting in a flat range or you keep testing a resistance line and keep getting rejected. It's just a matter of time until something most likely breaks through or breaks down. According to the weekly time frames on all three of those indexes, the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, you guys are probably going to go down lower. Just because the bigger time frames are already telling you you're probably going to go lower. And those ones usually stand the rule there. And your bond market and yields and assets, the physical ones, and your speculative assets look like they're going to get a lot of volatility coming up because your bond market is going to start flying around, most likely, just because it's that giant run up. Because what comes up must come down. Now it could just come crashing down too, but we'll see what happens. And I will see you guys next week, Monday.